Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Our presentation today, an Enterprise IP Surveillance Solution demonstration by BAS Computers Incorporated, will begin here in a few minutes. My name is Jennifer Manfred, and I'm the Marketing Director here at BAS Computers. We are very excited about the opportunity today to present to you our own brand of video management software, the BCI-VMS. Joining us today will be Tom McDonald, who will walk us through some of the key features and the demonstration of this software, and Aaron Reyna, the Security Manager here at BAS Computers. You can also find more information regarding this project at www.bcivms.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and with that, I'll let Tom take it away.
So what we're looking at here is a monitor station. The monitor station is intended to be a front-end application. It's designed to sit on the user's desktop while the server itself is in a comms closet or IT rack somewhere out of the way. When we were doing the design work for the monitor station, we wanted to focus on making it as easy to use as possible. We wanted to make sure that functionality like accessing recorded video was simply a matter of selecting a camera, a day, and then the time, and then playback would begin immediately. When the user spots an incident, they can use the carets at the bottom to define the start and end point, and simply click on the disk and film strip icon to be prompted where they want to save the file to. We don't use a proprietary playback format. We use an AVI container along with the codec that the camera gives us. So that way, when you go to hand off the video to someone, they don't have to use special software or install special software. They can use Windows Media Player or VLC to play back the video. We can verify the integrity of the video using an encrypted watermark that allows us to verify that a file hasn't been altered or tampered with, but still maintain the ability to play back in any media player. Users can do digital zoom of recorded video. They can draw a box on the screen, and that allows them to zoom in and see all the detail the camera makes available. So that way, when you're dealing with a 3-megapixel or a 5-megapixel camera, the user can see detail that might not be available to the monitor. If the user is looking for more advanced search functionality, we can go into our media player. Our media player allows us to do things like bring up a timeline view for cameras. The user can select a camera, select a day, and then hit load timeline. And that'll bring up a timeline view of when motion occurred on that camera, with the orange areas up top representing that motion. The user can click on a time and begin playback from that point. For instance, I can click on 12 a.m. there, or 12 p.m. there, and begin playback from 12 p.m. That way, if they need to jump into the middle of the file, they can do so without having to spend all day hunting for the video. We can also bring up a list of motion of events. So if I want to do, say, certain cameras for a certain period of time, we can select a list of cameras. I can select a time frame and bring up a list of motion events for those cameras. We can also use this to handle listings of analytic events, such as the analytics we support on board the cameras. We support the Video IQ, the POCO SARX, and the UDP family of analytics on board the cameras. We can also use this for rules within our rules manager and access control events. Is our facility map functionality. Our facility map functionality allows the user to simply hover over a camera and see what's going on. To set this up in the software, it's a simple matter of importing a JPEG, dragging and dropping the cameras onto it. And then once that's saved, we can also put in custom layouts so that the user can hover over a layout and change the background, or they can change a second monitor. And we can embed facility maps within facility maps. As many layers as the user needs, so if they have 12, 13 layers of mapping, they can have that. They want multiple maps for single locations, they can have that as well. And when we were designing the monitor station, or when we were designing the facility map, we wanted to make sure that it allowed the user to organize the cameras geographically. we tend to find that the vast majority of end users tend to think about their cameras in geographic terms. They think about their wing, their floor, their building, their campus. So to accomplish this, the facility map is designed to span across multiple servers. The 5 cameras that you see here can be on 5 separate servers, and that allows the user to simply see cameras without having to worry about the underlying architecture. We can take that a step further and allow the user to organize cameras by the, on the left-hand tree by the facility maps they belong to, or by custom layouts they belong to. So that way the user is presented with cameras in the way that makes the most sense to them, whether it be client server, whether it be by geographic area, or whether it be by specialized interest. From a technical perspective, something that is fairly unique to our software is how we store the video. We simply use an API container and then the codec that the camera gives us. So that way, if the camera is giving us H.264 video, we can put it in an API container. And because we're storing it as a simple file, it means we can write to anything that we see as a file storage in Windows. This means we can write directly to NAS or SAN. We can write directly to direct attached storage. It means that you don't have to set up archiving utilities if you need to set up storage for longer periods of time. We can simply write to that storage. And that allows us to scale up recording to be whatever your user needs, whether it be 30 cameras for 30 days or 100 cameras for a year, we can meet those storage requirements. That also allows us to scale up quite high in terms of total camera counts per server. We have customers with field deployments of over 125 cameras per server using 2 megapixel H.264 cameras. We can also handle large-scale decentralized deployments. We have deployments where users have servers scattered over a large geographic area, and they have 100+ servers that they're communicating to via a single monitor station. So we can handle very large single server deployments or very large decentralized deployments. Because the software scales this way, we wanted to keep the software licensing very simple and straightforward. Licensing is simply based on the total camera count. We don't do different tiers of software. We don't do licenses for client seats to view. Things like the health monitor that I'll discuss later are included with the software. Licensing is just based on total camera count. We do have support for a wide variety of cameras and camera manufacturers, covering everything from Axis to Variant to all the major manufacturers in between. We do have support for 70+ manufacturers and over 1,200 different cameras. Something else we include with the software is our health monitor functionality. Our health monitor is a separate standalone application. It's designed to have the server or servers report into it and say, this is who I am, this is the status of my cameras, my ability to write to my recording media, etc. So that way, if a camera goes down, a server goes down, someone's made aware of it immediately. We want to keep downtime to the absolute minimum. We tend to find the vast majority of users tend to be passive users. They only really check the system when an incident occurs. The problem with this is if the camera goes down or a server goes down, someone may not be aware of it for a week to 2 weeks. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen because Murphy's Law of CCTV is that the incident will happen in front of the downed camera. So we want to make sure that if a user has an issue, it's resolved quickly. Our user manager supports Active Directory, LDAP, and Novell eDirectory, allowing us to integrate with single sign-in systems and authenticate against them. Camera permissions can be set on an individual or group basis, or a hybrid of the two. So if I have a scenario where a security director needs slightly different permissions than the rest of the security group, you can configure that without having to create an entirely new group for them. Camera permissions themselves are very granular. I can restrict who has access to a camera. If I take away a user's ability to see a camera live, it doesn't show up on the left-hand tree for them. It doesn't show up on the facility map or any custom layouts. The user simply doesn't see the camera. So if there's a need for covert cameras, that permission can allow for it. We can also restrict who has access to recorded video. And with the clip permission, we can even restrict who has the ability to export video. So if there's concern about potential misuse of video, such as video ending up on YouTube, you can restrict who can actually export it. We can also restrict access to facility maps, custom layouts, and who's affected by what rules in the Rules Manager. And our Rules Manager is where we handle all the custom behavior within the software. For instance, any kind of scheduled functionality can be set up within here. Anything from one-off events for holidays to specific days of the week to the third Thursday of each month if need be. From there, we can combine that with various events to act as triggers, either by themselves or in combination with scheduling. We can use events such as an alert button. The alert button allows the user to trigger events. So if I have a situation for, say, a school district where they enter a lockdown situation, the principal can press a button within the software and tell all the cameras to go to record always. We can use digital inputs on the camera to integrate with an access control system, burglar panel, fire panel, etc. Or we can use motion detection, both server side and camera side. From there, we can take various actions. We can use the digital output to turn things on or off. So if a customer wants a siren to go off if motion's detected after 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, we can set up a schedule for that. We can send out email alerts. Anything from plain text to a single still image to a full video clip can all be sent out. We can do things like open up a live window or have a message pop up. So if we're tied into a burglar alarm and a glass break sensor gets triggered, we could have a message popping up saying, window broken in this area, here's the nearest camera. We can move PTZs to a preset location, change the recording type. We can even change camera layouts. So if the user wants to have camera layouts changed on the schedule, so that during certain times of the day, certain cameras are being viewed, they can set that as a schedule. Something else we can do that is unique to our software is how we handle digital zoom on live view. The user can draw a box, zoom in, move around, and treat it like a digital PTZ while still recording the full field of view. What makes this unique is how we're handling this. We're doing this entirely in the client software, so we don't require the cameras to support this functionality. If the user has analog cameras, if they have IP cameras, if they have older IP cameras that don't support digital PTZ, they can still use this functionality because it's handled entirely within the software. Our web client is cross-browser compliant. It's designed to work in IE, Firefox, Safari, Chrome, and Conqueror. That allows us to support Mac and Linux users as well as Windows users. And it allows us to support the various smartphone families. The Android, iPhone, and BlackBerry families of phones are all supported. It is designed with basic functionality in mind. Users using it have the ability to view custom layouts. They can use the facility map on the web, and they can review and download recorded video. Any permissions set in the user manager apply to the web client as well. And the very last thing I'd like to mention is we do have integration with various access control platforms. RS2, DSX, and Emron are all completed. We have been submitted for final certification for S2, and we're preparing to submit for certification to Linnell soon. And that's a basic overview of our features and functionality.